So I can remember when the business was being destroyed. There's all kind of strange stuff going on. I'd give my computer to Thomas. I've been asking Takey about if he could help me figure out who it is or how it is my systems are being stalked, and apparently he couldn't find anybody at Apple that could help me there. Nobody at all. And so I was trying to contact Facebook, contact different groups, and try to contact Craigslist, because I knew that my accounts there were always being messed with. Not really hard to mess with them, you just flag ads, but there was also a situation where people were stealing my pictures and using my pictures and all kinds of weird stuff for the products I was selling. And so you can't get any help for all that kind of stuff unless there's police intervention. And at that time, I definitely didn't know. I had no idea any law enforcement were involved except for the threat from Carmen, but I didn't see any active activity around me. I welcomed anyone in law enforcement to come and look at what was going on. And I had the house burglary. I called the police. Of course, they overstepped, and I had to ask them to leave because they were there concerned about something different, even though I was within the guidelines. They didn't come there to try to find out who it was that had broken into my house, which is why they were called. And so whatever their problem is, some cops just don't know what the hell's going on. And it was a gray area time in Santa Cruz. It was still gray area. Not everybody knew what all the rules were and all that kind of stuff, so maybe he wasn't the cop that came. Anyway, the reason for this post is covering, the inability to be able to get any kind of real help for. But I could tell that there was some sort of campaign going on. My reputation was getting tore up. There were meetings with people. Sorry for the background noise. Basically, like new customers and things like that, where they didn't have all their paperwork, they didn't have things in line, and I would just, I'm like, this is really strange. I would travel sometimes for these kind of meetings, and I would just go off on the people. Like, listen, you told me you had everything in line. You told me everything was fine. I'm fine on my end. You are not fine, and I would go off. A couple of other people that would just frustrate the crap out of me, and so I yelled at them. I don't give a crap. Don't waste my fucking time. Don't waste my time. So I think that there was a lot of documentation going on there from people that were actually setting me up, knowing that there was a campaign against me. There were people in Salinas and where is it? Not Hollister, but near Hollister. A couple people that really frustrated the shit out of me. Really disrespectful, really asking for it. These are all situations where it's, edited video. Like, I'm just yelling at them. They don't show the full context of them being a fucking absolute dumbass or stupid person to, if you're gonna act like a stupid is as stupid does, right? I ain't got no fucking patience for that. If you want to be stupid, you can fucking suck my nuts. Anyway, apparently that doesn't work for everybody, but I really don't give a fuck still. But contacting Facebook, contacting these social media platforms, contacting Craigslist was an impossibility. I couldn't really call the police and ask them to, there's nothing there. Even when I had the burglary of the house, there's nothing to prove that was in any way related with some sort of social media activity. Although it is, what would have been good is, because obviously that was an inside job. Most likely that was Josh setting it up with David Wales and that guy from Watsonville. I can't remember his name right off. But after the fire, after the fire, and the fact that things were escalating and this kind of random people, kind of strange behavior from random people was escalating after the fire, was escalating, like going up. The arrogance of these groups is just unbelievable. The arrogance is unbelievable. Absolutely unbelievable. Set my house on fire and then crank up the pressure. You know, what went down at the Sand City Starbucks, what went down at the 41st Avenue Safeway. I'll probably do those stories tomorrow, especially the 41st. Well, actually, both of them, they're very important. But anyways, these kind of random, so-called random situations where there's probably a third party or fourth party even recording, and then, of course, they edit out their part of it and just make it look like I'm, punching at flies or something weird like that. So what I decided to do was, it's become pretty obvious that maybe they were videoing me while they were setting off my temple. So I don't know who these people are. They are stalking me. They are breaking the law. See, that's another thing. Like this organized event with people calling and having me leave the house and then letting somebody else know to go there because they know that I'm doing something for them. This kind of a thing. That's all illegal. The use of social media to proliferate this kind of these acts and to create basically safe corridors for people to commit these kind of crimes, that's illegal. The only way that I was going to be able to show that I'm not crazy is by acting absolutely crazy. Whatever the situation is, whether I got to call somebody out about their faith, because I know a lot of these people are church related, whether I got to make fun of them because most of them are kind of, for the guys, they're kind of like incels, and they're like the female versions, they're usually unshoveled, very heavy set. You know, these are people that are sitting at the pews, and they're people that are disconnected and feeling connection by doing this kind of work. I remember when I was staying in the truck, how many times I would get out of my truck and there would be somebody parked directly behind me, older person generally, somebody in their 60s or 70s that's reading a Bible, which is very unsettling, absolutely unsettling. Like, what are you doing? In there reading a Bible, you think somehow or another that God isn't connected with me? You know? I could have died in that fire. God's been here the whole time. I was just shit, man. I figured the last 8 months coming up to the fire, and then for almost a year after the fire, I was almost insane. I did the relapse. I was under pressure and stress, and so although the relapse was medically, there's a medical reason for the initial relapse. I fell into that comfort zone of using it again, but it wasn't hard to break off of that, especially when I realized that Victor and his whole situation with the meth, that's who was getting me all the meth, these strange requests to buy an ounce at a time and all this stuff. Well, it's pretty obvious that there was something different going on there. Not just normal. There's something going on there. And so chasing that, especially after the fire, chasing the random people coming up to me trying to sell me meth and all that, was a situation where I have a lot of documented meetings and things like that, especially the ones that are obviously obvious. And so a lot of these situations where there's people coming at random, starting stuff or acting out or whatever, I know that they're recording without a doubt, or that they have somebody else recording. They're not doing this stuff alone. They're working in teams usually. And so I made sure that no matter what, that they were going to post this. I would prefer that they posted it, that they would have posted, raw video and raw content the way I have all my content. Nothing will be released with any kind of editing, it should be raw. But that's not what's going on. Of course, it's edited, all to make me look bad, make me look crazy, make me look at what he's saying to me. I have no conviction for God. No, you ain't got no conviction in God. You're breaking fucking American laws in the first place. Get the fuck away from me. I wouldn't say it like that, but I would come even heavier, even nastier, even more disgusting, fucking obnoxious, turn around, fucking fake moon, act like I'm grabbing my nuts, all kinds of shit. Anything that would make sure that this would go to a social media site and be blown up. I didn't have shit to lose. My business had been destroyed, my reputation was gone, and not just that, fucking set my house on fire. That's my landlord's house. This is not a joke. I'm not worried about the fact that I almost died, but that's just a reality in the whole situation. I'm not worried. I need to find who it is that's responsible for having inspired this idiot, crazy fool to have done what he had done. But not just that, there's already the burglary, there's already the destruction of the business, there's already an organized effort. When did the campaign for my mom cross over and dad cross over? And we know Victor's from Salinas, so that's part of it. The guy that set the house on fire, that actually set it up to almost blow me up. I'm very lucky, actually. I am very lucky. We were going back and forth to Salinas. He had connections to Salinas, all this kind of stuff. There's all kinds of connections here. And but how do I draw them closer together? And especially the Asilomar assault, when that gray Charger, silver Charger, it's more silver, not gray, was parked the way it was. I saw him pull in when I confronted this guy who parked so close to me, and they stayed when the cops came. That's what was all interesting, what was going on there. And I don't know if the guy the person in the silver Charger was law enforcement or not, but it's also interesting that the silver Charger was involved in the original Sacramento so-called DUI stop, obviously a targeted stop, where a BB gun was used before the whole situation. You have to go back and read the story about Sacramento. And the Dodge Challenger in the North Highlands assault, which I'm also very lucky. If that jar would have broke, it would have cut my damn throat. So why did all the crazy stuff that makes me, I guess, look so terrible? Didn't matter, right? It had already destroyed my business. It had already, but more importantly, I don't think it's a big deal to act crazy in front of a bunch of people that are acting criminally. On balance, is being obnoxious, and I don't think I was ever threatening, or if I was threatening, it was threatening enough to inspire them to keep stepping forward, but not threatening like as if I'm really going to hurt somebody, unless they were coming across completely. But more of this obnoxious, really kind of nasty, disgusting, hard to deny content that I know that they would post, because I don't think anybody gets it. Those are all trails, and when they show a connection, if they all happen to go to one particular, even if it's a private group of a church or a private group of an organization, but there happens to be 15, 20, 30 videos of me in a tray with me acting crazy, what is it? I mean, doesn't that show absolutely that there was stalking going on? Doesn't that show that there is some sort of a strange campaign? And I'm going to guess that the higher the concentration, the closer we're going to get to the actual influence, who it was that influenced Domingo Alonso to do what he did at my house. Right. You get it? It's not some sort of like, I'm committed. I'm down. I'm fucking undercover American for the people. Undercover agents do they do what they need to do too. Well, this is my life, it's my responsibility, and I'm gonna find out and have revealed who it is and which group it was, most importantly, what I'd like is that people know, for people to know and to understand that these tactics can be used on your children and can be used on you. These are dangerous tactics that are going on everywhere. People are extorting and blackmailing each other all over the place. That's what I thought it was originally, before the fire. I thought I was being blackmailed and extorted. Definitely having my business interfered with. So in order to try to find out, after the house was on fire and I was a little bit out of my mind, how could I not be? After the stress of losing my business and after the stress of realizing, holy crap, this isn't even just an accidental fire. They tried to fucking kill me. It took me 5 or 6 weeks after the fire for me to realize that, because I suffer from post-traumatic stress. If you read, if you listen to how I was raised, it's very apparent how that could be. So I did what I needed to do. That information is on the internet. Any good hacker would be able to see these pathways. So we're going to presume law enforcement, they have a feeling they're going to try to hit me with this and hit me with that. Well, that's fine. Let's look at all the evidence and let's understand what's really going on here. They're going to find that there's a strong, hefty group of law enforcement, especially in Santa Cruz, that are directly involved with this fire and in the cover-up of, why is it that I couldn't get anyone to listen to me at the fire department about Domingo, about when I did discover what was going on, what had happened at that house. So it's serious business. I did everything I can. I've done everything I can. I'm still doing everything I can to show just how arrogant, how dumb these people are. And unfortunately, they're building off of all those videos as if it's proof of something. And the only thing it's proof of is that they're stalking me, that they're doing dangerous behavior that can lead to very, very bad consequences. I'm actually lucky to be alive. That's the damn truth. And I'm grateful. Hope y'all are having a nice evening. Good night.